from me. I've learned the valuable thing. Heaven ain't showed up yet. So as long as heaven ain't showed up, I am legally and spiritually dependent. Look at your neighbor real quick and say, faith will produce dependence. I ain't got no help in this place. How do I know now, TK? Because I ain't got no church. That faith produces dependence. Because faith is what I need when I am in a situation that I cannot get out of. Because faith being the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. All of us in here are in need of something that you cannot tangibly put your hands upon right now. And what God does, he will sit there and let you hang out a while to see how long you're going to last. He's going to see if you're going to put your brain to work or you're going to put your knees to work. When you put your brain to work, that's when you act like you don't need God. But when you put your knees to work, you shut your brain down and you put yourself on your knees and you tell the Lord, I can't do it without you. I need you now than ever before. Because when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he's done in this place, how many know your soul cries out? And I'm telling God right now, thank you. Even though you ain't made a way yet, but I'm still thanking. God, I feel like having some church. If I got half of y'all in here that know that you're dependent on God, grab your neighbor by the hand and say, what you waiting on, baby? What you waiting on, baby? I don't know about you, but I'm waiting on my God. Now then I'm understanding his words. I don't want to get into the place where I'm like Nebuchadnezzar. Now remember in the word of God that Nebuchadnezzar, after knowing that God is God, he is now then thinking that he's over there in a bag of chips. To the point where God took the mind out of him and put a mind of a beast in him. And he stayed in the field acting like one until he realized again that you cannot do this without him. I need y'all to understand here at Tower Power family and friends that when you get up, you better get out of your mind that you can do this by yourself. Be real with you. If I could have done it, then I would have been out of it by now. But I can't do it by myself. I know my wife looks at me sometimes and I know she worries about me. And to be real, sometimes I worry about my own life because so much stuff be weighing on me. And I'm saying to myself, how can I get myself out of this? There were times that I would drive from my job and I would sit there and knowing we didn't have what we needed. And I was driving and saying, what in the world can I do? I don't want her to sit up and try to scratch her head and figure out how this is going to be worked out and how it's going to be worked out. Because us men, we got egos. We got egos. We're walking around feeling that it's only going to get done unless we figure a way out and figure out how it's going to happen. But here it is. I'm different from most men. I have a relationship with an unseen God. Y'all ain't helping me. I may not see him physically, but I know he exists. Because when I had physical problems, I call it unseen God. And that unseen God made a physical way out of nowhere. When I thought I had to do it, I just had to back up and let God have his way. Is there anybody in here that know that God will have his way? If you get out of the way and let God do, y'all ain't here. Touch your neighbor and say, back yourself up. I feel like having some church. I feel like preaching in this place. I've learned it and now I'm glad I got it. Because now I understand it. If y'all don't catch up, that's all right. And I understand that me, myself, and I can't do this thing by myself. And to be real with you, to do it by yourself is the problem that you've had a long time. I'm not trying to get God to help me with it. I need God to take the thing and do it all by himself. I've learned a valuable thing, and I ain't no backseat driver. I am a rider. Y'all ain't here. to go to the left, and I don't tell the Lord to go to the right. Thank you for putting me there. I've learned a valuable thing. If I back myself up, and y'all ain't gotta say nothing to me, if I back myself up and tell the Lord, here it is, take the wheel. Y'all ain't here. I'm glad. And God will handle my problem. I know there's somebody in this room right now that need your God to handle your trial and handle your circumstance. I got half a church that know how good it is when you put it all in the Lord's hand. Is there anybody in here that know to put it in God's hand? I got half of y'all in here.